Today I want to teach you that readers learn new words from all the books they read. When you figure out how to read a word, but you don't know what it means, you stop and think about it. You can look for clues in the picture and the other words to understand the new word the best you can. I have to admit something to you. I started reading the next chapter of Zelda and Ivy. I know I don't normally read it without you, but I was so excited to read more about these two. But that's not all. You see, there was a word that I had never heard before, and I just mumbled through it and kept reading. But I realized that I didn't really understand what was going on. I also felt that I didn't take charge of my reading because I just ignored the word. So, I'm hoping that you'll give me a second chance to be the boss and try again. Okay, let me start over. And this time, when I get to a brand new word, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to work hard to read and understand the word. Chapter 3, The Secret Cushion. This is the word. It is right there in the title, so I kind of just mumbled through it. But let me drop that bad habit and work to read this word. The secret concoction. Concoction. Well, I can say the word, but I still don't know what it means. I'm going to try and use the picture and the words on the page to help me understand it better. I see this jar right below the title. There seems to be liquid inside. Oh, and here I see Ivy holding the same jar. Maybe the words will give me more clues. Early one morning, Zelda sat down to write a haiku poem for her grandmother. I don't think that has anything to do with the concoction. I'll keep reading. Ivy came in, shaking a jar of liquid. Oh, that might be a clue. It's the jar. And yes, I was right. There is liquid inside. What's that? Asked Zelda. I'm making a secret concoction, said Ivy. She poured in some orange juice. She's pouring in orange juice. Maybe a concoction is like a drink. I better keep reading to see if there are more clues. You should add glue, said Zelda. I don't think so, said Ivy. She mixed in a mint leaf and an eyelash. Wait a second. Now she's putting an eyelash in? Yuck. Maybe a concoction is some kind of weird mixture or like a magical potion. Are you thinking the same thing? So let me see if I can talk about this word to show that I understand it. A concoction is a kind of liquid. It's like a mixture of things. It's like a drink, but it's not really a yummy drink because there are a lot of things mixed up in it. It could be like a magical potion. What do you think? Did I get the job done? Did I work hard not just to read the word, but also to understand the word? Are you ready to take over, bosses? If you hear a word that feels new and you're not totally sure what it means, you can pause the video and work really hard, like reading bosses, to figure out the word and try to understand the word. I'm making a secret concoction, said Ivy. She poured in some orange juice. You should add glue, said Zelda. I don't think so, said Ivy. She mixed in a mint leaf and an eyelash. Put in cinnamon hearts, said Zelda. Make it a love potion. Ivy screwed the top back on the jar. No, she said. What are you going to do with it? Asked Zelda. So far, so good. Let's keep reading, but we need to stop if we notice a new word that we need to work to understand. We'll see, said Ivy. She gazed at the jar. She wasn't sure herself. I'm wondering if we can figure out what the word gazed means. You may know this word, but let's work together to talk about it. In a second, I'm going to ask you to pause the video so you can work on this word. Use the picture and the words on the page to understand what the words mean. Then talk it out. You might say, it's like this, or it's not like this, so that you can explain it the best that you can. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and figure out what the word gazed means. Were you asking questions like, how does a picture help me? What's happening in this part? What's another word that might fit there and make sense? Or what kind of word is this? You may have noticed that Ivy was doing something in the picture. Then you read the words on the page and realized that gazed is something she's doing. Something she's doing at the jar. It seems like her arms are stretched out and she is looking at the jar. Maybe gazed is like looked or stared. Could those words fit in this sentence too? I think gazed is like stared, but maybe not as quick of a glance. I think gazed is like staring quietly for a longer moment. Will you gaze at something? Okay, gaze at something right now besides the computer screen. You might be gazing at a picture on the wall, or maybe some books. Okay, gaze back at me now. So Ivy gazed at the jar. She must be thinking hard about that concoction. She's not sure what she'll do with it yet. Readers, do you see how we took some time away from reading the words to really understanding what a word meant? Even if you already knew what the word gazed meant, now we have a much better understanding of what the word means and what it means in the story. When you are reading today, make sure that you stop when you see words that need more work so that you can really understand the word and what's happening in the story.